Litecoin and Bitcoin breakout coming. What's up, guys? Crypto Savvy here with your Sunday update. Hope everyone's having a good weekend. We're going to take a look at the charts. First, we're going to take a look at Litecoin, bearish and bullish scenario. And then we're going to take a look at Bitcoin, bearish and bullish scenario. And at the end, I'm going to give a little example of why we don't have to see a big capitulation candle that I hear a lot of people talking about. So stick around. Should be interesting.
1, 2, 3, jump!
All right, guys, as always, I want to start out by saying I'm not a financial advisor. This is not financial advice. This is my opinion and my view of the market only. Anybody that's doing any trading or any investing in this market, I suggest to do your own due diligence and your own research, as this market can be extremely volatile and risky. With that being said, if you like the channel and or you're new here and you haven't already, please hit the subscribe button in the lower right hand side of the screen. That'll get you subscribed. Tick the little notification bell to get you notified when I post new videos. And I would appreciate it if you guys leave your comments. Let me know what you think of the video on the bottom. And then give it a giant thumbs up. Really helps the channel out. I appreciate it, guys. All right. So I'm just going to try to make this quick as possible. We're just going to go through the daily, and then we're going to look at the RSI on each of them. And at the end of the video, I'm going to show you why it's not necessary that we have the big capitulation candle that everybody's talking about. And I'll show you an example of that. So, all right, looking at the channel, I've had drawn in here for Litecoin. And we're just going to take a quick look at the targets and why I have them there. Guys, I am really steering more towards the bullish scenario, just to let you guys know, but I am going to show both the bullish and the bearish scenarios here. So let's get started. I'm just going to show you the bearish targets first. And as you see here, it looks like we could be forming a bear flag. And what we would do here is measure the flagpole. And then we bring the flagpole down to where we might break out, which could be around in this area. And that would bring us down to the bottom of this channel, around the $36 to $37 range. And that's, if we were to come down here, guys, and we were to break this bottom, then that leads me to the next target, which would be, and again, guys, that's if we break down past this bottom. And I don't believe that we would come straight down. It would, probably come down here, hit this support, and then come over and down. And that would bring us to the 23.85 range, which I believe would be a double bottom. And again, guys, I know I said it before, but if you haven't watched the channel, I do believe this was our low. And that's not to say we don't come down and do a double bottom, but I do strongly believe that that is the low. Again, guys, I could be wrong. This is only my opinion and my view of the market. So let's get into the bullish targets here. And we'll go through how I've gotten each one of them. And the first one here is the 5604 range, which we've had resistance, support, resistance, all the way across the board there. So we would go down to here to where we broke out of this, and we broke out of this. Right here was a bull flag. Excuse me, I'm sorry. Right here is where we broke out, and we would measure the bull flag, which would be right there. Here, let me zoom in a little bit, guys, so you can see. But we would measure this bull flagpole. Here's the bull flag. And then we would take it up here to where we broke out. And that's what gives me the 56. And these numbers aren't exact, guys. These are just estimated. So just so you guys know. And that's where I got the first target. It would be off of this flagpole from this bull flag, and where we broke out, and that gets the $56 range. Now, we'll go to the next target, which would be measuring this as an Adam and Eve, which is extremely likely, and it looks to be playing out. So, as you can see, this would be the Adam, and this would be the rounded eve here. Now the neckline would be right where the eve ends and the atoms, or the atom ends and the even starts. So that would be right around the 40.21 range, somewhere in here. So what we would do there is measure, make a measured move from here down to the bottom of the atom, and then we would use that same neckline and set it on top over there, and that would get us to this $60 range, right in there to the $60 range. And I may have drawn that. Yeah, let me move that neckline to where we touched the tip here, support, and then we came down, retested it, and got a bounce off. So obviously that would make that line a little bit longer. Let's bring it back down here. Sorry about that, guys. It's early in the morning. I'm trying to get some stuff done, and I wanted to get a video out to you guys. I appreciate everybody that's been tuning into the channel. But yeah, that would be the measured move to the bottom of the atom from that neckline, and then we bring it up to right back to that neckline. That would show us the distance of the breakout, which would get us around to the $60 range here. Now the next target I have up here is around the $64 range, and how I got that one is we would measure the length of the channel here to where we were to break out. And again, guys, if we don't break back up to the top of this, and that's what gets me to the $64 range. But again, guys, if we don't break up to the top and we get rejection, as you can see where we're going to touch the top of this channel here is also in line with the 200 EMA. And if we break down, if that gives us heavy enough resistance that we get rejected and come back down to test this, then obviously, you know, we could be looking at the lower lows to 23.85, or get a bounce off the bottom here and go back up for another test. But if, like I said, I am bullish here, and I do look more towards these targets, and I believe if we hit up above this 200 EMA and we come back down, I think we should test the 200 EMA for support, and we could possibly hold as support there. So now let's get into the RSI that I've been following, and we're looking in the daily. As you can see, I have this rising wedge drawn in here, and we've gotten our support once, twice, and 3 times. That's why I believe we have the bullish scenario coming. Now, guys, that's not to say we don't curve back down, retest this, and get another bounce. So we could get a little more, you know, downward movement in the next day or two, possibly today. So to come back down and test this, but I do see this holding, and if not, obviously, then we'll probably have a big sell-off, which would lead to the lower targets. Now let me look at the 4-hour, and you can see I had this symmetrical triangle drawn in here, which we could clone this line, bring it down, and you know, it could possibly be a channel going down, but that's not, I don't like that because it doesn't match up really well. So, but here I do believe if we come up to test the top of this symmetrical triangle again and get a break up, that'll be our next move up to the targets I was showing you guys. So that is Litecoin. Now we're going to take a look at Bitcoin. And again, guys, if you haven't subscribed already, please hit the subscribe button in the lower right hand side of the screen. That'll get you subscribed. Tick the little notification bell to get you notified when I post videos, and give it a giant thumbs up, and leave your comments, guys. I like to read you guys' comments and see what you guys think. So yeah, scroll down to the bottom and leave your comment. Now this is interesting here. I do think we could possibly be forming a reversal diamond right here, and I'll show you that after we take a quick look at the targets, and we're going to take a look at the bearish scenario first, as we did in Litecoin. And as you can see, I had this symmetrical triangle drawn out here, which we've popped up through, came back down, tested for support, and it's holding as support. We did pop back down through it right here, kind of like a bear trap wick or a stop hunt, whichever you want to call it there, right around to the 3650 range. So I do believe this 3650 is going to hold, but I am going to show you the bearish scenario first. And excuse me, guys. So on the bearish scenario, what I'm going to do here is measure this. This is a possible bear flag, but I don't with this wick going down here, I don't believe that that's a bear flag, but I'm still, like I said, going to show the bearish scenario first. And we would measure this bull flag all the way down to here, and then where we would break out from there, which would be probably right in where these EMAs are. If we broke through this 21 EMA, I think we'd be going down, but that would bring us down to the 3250 area, somewhere in there, if this bottom of the symmetrical triangle doesn't hold. And we do have support over here, so this would be the area to watch if we broke down, would be the $3450, $3,500 range. If we broke down through there, like I said, this would be our next test. And then the extremely bearish scenario would be that this was a bull or a bear pennant, and we would do a measured move from the longest point of the pennant and bring it down here to where we would possibly break out, which I believe would be, you know, right, like I said, around a 3480 range where we would break down if we were to break down, and that would leave us to the $2,300 range. And obviously that would bring us right down to the bottom of this big falling wedge that I've had drawn here. So that's the bearish scenario, guys. And now we're going to take a look at the bullish scenario, which I am definitely still more bullish than bearish here. And I'm going to show you how we got the targets here for the bullish. And don't forget, guys, to stick around. I'm going to show you at the end why the capitulation candle that everybody's talking about is not necessary. Not to say it's not going to happen, but it doesn't have to happen. So, like I said, we could be looking at a zoom in a little bit before we get to our higher bullish targets, but we could be looking here at a reversal diamond, guys. And this is a pretty powerful reversal if this is a reversal diamond. And like I said, there's no way to tell yet. But it does seem possible that that's what we're forming here. So I'm going to draw these lines in so you guys can get an idea what I'm looking at. This one over here. All right. Then we put a line over here. It's kind of tough to get an estimate of where this side would line up. Obviously, it's not a perfect triangle, so this line could go up a little further, somewhere in this range. But anyway, we could have a drop back down to test the top of that symmetrical triangle again, which would bring us around to the 3730 range, and that would be the bottom of this triangle here, or this diamond here. And if we were to break through that, you know, we could get a little bear trap and then shoot back up. But if we do break down past this 3650 range, obviously that, you know, the bearish scenario comes in effect. But I do believe that this is a pretty bullish sign and that we should shoot back up. And now I'm going to show you my bullish targets. Like I said, I'm doing most of this in a daily today, guys, instead of breaking down into smaller time frames, just to try to make the video a little bit quicker. And then I'll show you the RSI of this too before we move on, where I can show you why I don't believe we have to have a capitulation candle. So now we're looking at the more bullish targets, and obviously, excuse me, this was our old, this has been our resistance area here. So I do still have that resistance area drawn in here as one of the targets to move up to. And this would also kind of look like a BART pattern there, which some people are talking about, but I'm going to go and show you why I have these targets here. Excuse me. So on this one, the measured move off of this breakout. Where am I at here? Sorry guys, I'm kind of losing my ideas here. All right. So anyways, if this is a triangle, I believe we break up at least into this area here. And then the next target, I have the higher one there, was from this breakout right here. We measure the flagpole and then where we broke out, and that would bring us up to the $4,300 range, which would also be old resistance here. So now let's move into the bigger targets. If we were to break up above this 4,300, 4,350 range, then my next targets are up here, and I'm going to show you how I got those. And the same way, we'll measure the distance of the longest point of the symmetrical triangle and to where we broke out. And I'll use the initial breakout before we come down and test support. So that brings us right up to the $4,900, $5,000 range right in here. Now, the next target that I got, how I came up with that target is looking at this as an Adam and Eve, and I'll put a support and resistance line across here so we know what we're looking at. But that would be right about there, would be the neckline of the Adam and Eve. And if we did a measured move on the Adam from the neckline to the tip of the Adam and bring it over, set it back on top of the neckline. And guys, there's going to be up and down movement. It's not like these, you know, shoot straight to the targets. But that's what gives me the high target of the $5,200 to $5,300 range right in here. Let's move that target a little bit. But yeah, probably 5,250 range, somewhere in there. And then obviously we would, after a move like that, we would have to have a correction. And that could come back down and test, you know, as low as the 41.71 area and possibly lower. Like I said, we could always be looking at a double bottom, but I do believe this trend line here will hold as long as we don't come down and break it over here, obviously. But and then if we come back, you know, after a correction here, we may come back down to the $3,600 range, $3,500 to $3,600 range for a correction and back up. So again, I am bullish here, and I do believe that we have seen our lows in Bitcoin. Now I'm going to move into show you why I don't believe we have to have a capitulation candle, because I do believe that we are in accumulation now. And if we look at the gold chart, obviously this is on a weekly chart, and I will zoom in to show you. But as you can see, what happened here, which is almost identical to Bitcoin, you know, after the big run up, came down, tested the bottom twice, and then, you know, shot up, which is possible for Bitcoin. I know a lot of people say there's no possible way, but it is possible that we start a bull run very soon. Do I think we're going to start it right away? Probably not. I think we might have some sideways action for a couple months, but I'm going to show you why I don't believe we have to have capitulation. As you can see, we're going to look in this area, which is about the same as what we're looking at in Bitcoin, where we're at right now. So, and I'll show you in Bitcoin actually right now. I'll give you as you can see in Bitcoin, we've done the same thing. We've tested the bottom of this trend line twice, just like in the gold I'm showing you. And then, you know, we haven't had a capitulation candle in there, but that's why I believe this is accumulation, just like it was accumulation in gold before the big run up. Now, if we zoom in here, guys, we're going to zoom into, again, this is the weekly chart, and I'll zoom into the daily too, and then move back over to this area. But as you can see, there was never any capitulation anywhere on any of this. This was all just accumulation. Now, I can even zoom into, let's look at the date here where the low was, right around July of 99. So we'll go into the daily and look for a capitulation candle there and see what we can find. Put this in auto. There we go. All right, let's move it over to July of 90, I think I said it was, and take a look at what happened over there. I guess I probably should have done this a little bit easier, but oh well, I'm already started now, so excuse me. We're getting close. And well, maybe not. Sorry guys, it's taking so long. I didn't set this up first, so let me try to squeeze it up a little bit. Try to get us there a little quicker. Oops, right here, 99 in the July area. So if we zoom in here, guys, and look for a capitulation candle, same in there, and that was a huge run and a huge bear market and the end of a bear market, and there is no big capitulation candles. And again, guys, we're on the daily right where that bottom was, and there's no big capitulation candles. This was all just accumulation before the big run. So I wanted to show you guys that just so you get another view. And you know, I'm not saying the capitulation can't happen. I'm just saying it doesn't have to. And if you're waiting for that, you may be waiting for something that never comes. So anyways, guys, that's it for today. If you liked the video, please click the Crypto Savvy logo above my head. That'll get you subscribed. Tick the little bell if you want to get notified when I post new videos. And also give it a giant thumbs up and leave your comments down below, guys. I appreciate it. Have a good weekend.